Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the Green Raven here. I really need Dorn to take my steps before I start recording. Anyways, so we have defeated the Brood Lord, and we are about to resume trying to figure out what happened. Returning to the place where you arrived after being teleported aboard the conglomeration of warp-lost vessels and asteroids that form the Herald of Oblivion, it's basically a giant dead solar system. Actually, no, not solar system. It's more like a giant planetoid. It's a giant ball of garbage, evil garbage, whatever. From the Herald of Oblivion, you scan again for your battle brothers' life signals. The Auspex comes back negative. Either they didn't teleport to the same location as you, or they have since set off on their mission, believing you to have been lost when the teleportarium malfunctioned. Assessing your helm comm, you try to contact the Shield of Dorn, but all you hear in return is a hiss of static and the sound of distant explosions before it cuts out altogether. Something's blocking the signal. For the time being, you're on your own. It seems likely that there's something about the construction of the vessel you're currently in that is preventing your Auspex from completing long-range scans. Perhaps a leaking fusion reactor or a radioactive mineral deposit in an asteroid bound to the craft somewhere nearby. You're able, however, to accomplish a three-dimensional scan of the internals of the rogue trader vessel you are currently in, which in turn enables you to locate a way out. Half an hour later, you emerge from the rogue trader vessel through what was once an airlock in an echoing pitch-black space. Activating your suit's searchlight, its beam pierces the gloom to reveal that you're standing inside what appears to be a vast rocky cavern. Suddenly, a designated marker tag flashes into being on the HUD, accompanied by a chiming alert. It only takes the Auspex machine spirit a moment to flag it as being that of Apothecary Ordeus. Your Auspex currently isn't picking up any other life signs of any other members of Squad Scipio, but they might just be out of range. You try your helm comm and hear nothing but static. According to your aspects, Brother Ordeus cannot be more than 100 meters away from your current location, but you do not know what obstacles you might have to cross to reach him. You could, of course, attempt to boost the gain of your Auspex in order to carry out a more thorough survey of the area. Carry out a more comprehensive scan. Follow the signal I've picked up already without further delay. Let's not rush into things, shall we? The Auspex bleeps and burbles as it scans the cavern and whatever lies in the darkness beyond the range of your searchlight. Slowly, the Auspex builds up a more detailed three-dimensional map of the cavern. The scan even indicates what the other vessels that form the structure of the Herald of Oblivion might be. As you would expect, there are a number of Imperial vessels, everything from bulk transporters to a Retribution-class battleship. But there are also other vessels grown of alien Wrathbone, other semi-organic craft, and one that might even be a Nesicard Dahau. It would appear that the way through Brother Ordeus' location is relatively straightforward. However, neighbors. I'm not used to having neighbors, folks. Anyways, however, you note that although his life sign is still registering, he hasn't moved since your Auspex first located him, and there's still no sign of your other battle brothers. The route you take to find the apothecary leads you across the cavernous heart of a trapped asteroid to a point where the blunt nose of another vessel has burst through the silicate rock wall. The impact must have occurred hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, and resulted in the hull of the craft being breached as well. Entering the vessel, you home in on the signal from your Auspex, following the HUD display to the marker tag, and it is then, as your illuminator beam falls on a solid adamantium bulkhead above you, that you see Brother Ordeus for the first time. Examine Brother Ordeus. Even as you stare in horror at the unyielding adamantium wall, the apothecary's life signs marker on your HUD blinks out. You are too late. Brother Ordeus is dead. But then, that is hardly surprising considering he was clearly teleported into the very fabric of the bulkhead itself. Ouch, teleportation accent. No doubt his internal organs became fused with the ship, and thereafter death was inevitable. The bone white of the apothecary's armor is in stark contrast to the near black bulkhead. The crimson prime helix of the Ordis's heraldry stands out as bright as freshly spilled blood upon the arm holder that protrudes from the bulkhead, as his brother Ordeus's helm and one leg. It is as if he became trapped whilst attempting to run through the wall. Taking the apothecary's helmet in your hands, you carefully remove it. Lifeless, Ordeus's head tips forward, his chin dropped onto the neck ring of his suit. You soon again at the arm. What you look? Oh my God! I'm just sorry. You look again at the arm, thrust clear of the adamantium and the archaic instrument attached to it. It is Ordeus's narthicium, his battlefield medkit. The narthicium is no longer of any use to the apothecary, so you release it from its maglocks and then secure it to your own armor. A quick inspection reveals that Ordeus had just replenished his supplies before joining the boarding party. Well, that's smart. That's very smart. There are ointments and medicamentium equivalent to 5 medkits worth. Each time you use a medkit, you restore your wounds scored to its starting total. You might be too late to side Brother Ordeus, but you might be able to preserve his gene seed, so that his genetic essence might live on another battle brother one day. If only you can work out how to operate the reductor progenitoid reclamation device correctly. Flipping open the cover on the mechanism's control panel, you find yourself faced with an array of blinking runes. With a hasty prayer to the Emperor, you tap away at the keys, hoping to stumble upon the correct combination to activate the redactor. Quick thing, gene seed. Space Marines are cyborgs, basically. So that is, the gene seed is kind of like the brain and the soul-ish. So when a Space Marine dies, you should try to remove the gene seed so they can be put in a new body. Gene seed is kind of like the heart and the brain and the soul and techno jargon babble. Anyways, my purity is equal or greater to 6. Entering the code, you successfully activate the redactor. Without a moment's hesitation, you plunge its whirling drill bit into Ordeus' neck. Feeling the clamped teeth bite down on the tough organ, you pull it free. Fortunately, you're also able to recover the second progenitoid located within the apothecary's chest. You gain 2 purity. Secure both glands in one of the sanctified stasis inside the narcathium. There is nothing more you can do for Brother Ordeus, and so are forced to leave his body locked within the very fabric of the bulkhead. However, you are able to retrieve 3 clips of bolter rounds that are in the apothecary's possession. Each clip has 20 shots. However, as you progress further through the bulk cargo hauler, following the only visible path open to you, your helm auspex begins to bleep and chirp with activity. Overlaying the information it is picking up on your helmet HUD's wireframe, 3D scan of the Hulk appears first. On top of this then appears the target markers indicating your battle brother's life signs. Feeling a relief washes through you as you see the rest of the boarding party are all still alive. Although they appear to have somewhat been scattered throughout the Hulk, all except one. Your auspex has failed to pick up Sergeant Valerius' signal. Based on the primary scan downloaded into your auspex while you're still aboard the shield of Dorn, and from the information your auspex has picked up since, including the locator signals relayed from your battle brother suits, you know which direction you need to travel in order to track each of them down. However, you have no idea what sort of environment you'll Find the Earth secrets those areas of the Herald of Oblivion are holding. Which of your fellow Imperial fists do you want to try to track down first? Search for Brother Kale. Hunt down Apostole Rematus. Attempt to join Brother Barthion. We're on way at 10 minutes. Okay. Hermf. Kale has lightning claws. Hunt down Apostole Rematus, eh? Check our inventory. Knife, power fist, bolter, relic blade. We know nothing of interest. Let's attempt. Let's attempt to join with Brother Barthon. Brother Barthon's signal remains strong as he forced a path through the derelict, scrambling over fallen Cyclopean station statuary, crossing the yawning gulf of the inert plasma drive. By means of a twisted girder that is as long as a titan in tall, scaling the corrosion-pitted face of a Prometheum tanker's hull. Jesus God. Until at last you find yourself walking along a processional avenue. It is wide enough for two Lamian rust tanks to pass along abreast, and is lined with obelisks that appears to be cut from a strange black stone that seems to glow with an inner green luminous. Being a mighty Terminator space marine of the Imperial Fist chapter, you do not feel fear, but you have to admit a certain amount of trepidation as you approach the yawning portal at the end of the avenue. It is carved from the same gleaming stone as the obelisk, and for some reason reminds you of one of those sepulchral worlds of the Imperial you have visited. But it is not the alien material from which the gateway is formed that unsettles you the most, nor the fact that the portal appears large enough to admit a god. It is the fact that held within it, in defiance of gravity, is a pool of liquid, its rippling surface scattering the light from your suit's searchlight across the canyon of the procedural avenue. Stargate. Your Auspex return starts to crackle and falter, no doubt thanks to being so close to the gravitational distortion caused by the pool. Thanks to memories implanted by your indoctrination machines aboard the Phalanx, you know that you are standing. See, there you go, folks. The whole gene seed thing. You know that you're standing at the entrance of a tomb ship of the Necrotier, a race of beings ancient beyond reckoning, who were once the undisputed rulers of the galaxy. And yet, as far as you can tell, although your Auspex is malfunctioning more and more by the second, Brother Barthon lies somewhere within. Attempt to pass through the portal pool and see where it takes you. Turn back now while I still can before Brother Barthon's fate becomes my own. Nah, man. Leave no one behind, yo. Leave no one behind. You take a step forward the shimmering portal and then pause, taking a moment to compose yourself. When you are ready, with your very next step, you pass through it. Your suit's auto-senses scream with static distortion, and you feel an inexplicable frozen right down to your marrow. The marrow and bus. Holy crap, folks. I'm gonna probably stop reading after this. And then you emerge on the other side of a quicksilver pool. But where are you? The chamber appears to be made of the same black mineral as the processional avenue. However, set in the green-tinged obsidian are the geometric patterns of gold and silver filigree circuitry. The alien sigils and hieroglyphs are everywhere, running in long strips as if in mockery of the binaric language of the tech priests of Mars. Even though you know the strange script predates that of almost any other civilization in the galaxy by tens of millions of years. You check your aspects again, but whatever it was that interfered with your signal before is persisting now that you are inside the sepulchre tomb ship. The runes demonstrating the positions of your frail battle brothers throughout the drugs have been wiped from your scanner. You do not know. You do what you can to appease the device vexed machine spirit, and before it cuts out altogether, one final scan locates 10 no-deal points. These are connected by maze of passages, but just pure aspects ties altogether. The position of several of these seem to shift and change, as if the laws of space and time inside this necroship do not mean what they do in the physical universe. Curiously, but fortuitously, your helm's internal compass is still operational, as if some massive electrical force is creating its own magnetic field, by means of which you're able to navigate through the tomb ship. Behind you stands the shimmering portal by which you entered the silent sepulchral craft. In front of you is nothing but a wall with black marble inset with sunken hieroglyphic circuitry. The only routes open to you to leave the chamber by the great glowing passageways heading east, with the opposite counterpart west. No maps, no nothing. Head west. The passageway leads to a hollow pyramid chamber. This is the point designated as Node 1 on your aspects. Examine the chamber. Accompanied by an almost imperceivable robotic whirring, what is clearly a weapon mount tracks your movement as you breach the chamber. At the same time, the crystal prisms within it begin to glow with a sinister emerald light. You are no doubt that the weapon is charging its readiness to fire. There are only two ways out of the chamber: through the archway in the north and another in the east. Take out the alien weapon at range, leave the chamber as quickly as possible. Nah, man. Only cowards die in shame. Take out the alien weapon at range. Even as he fixed the weapon in your sights, it fires a burst of lethal emerald energy at you, caught directly within the beam of a Gauss flux arc that would not be out of place mounted on a Necron monolith. First your armor, then your gene hands flashed, stripped away, one layer of molecules at a time, as everything that makes you is broken down as constitutional atoms in a matter of seconds. Your adventure is at an end. What? We didn't even get it. What is it? Oh, there you go, folks. Bravery is for the foolish. Anyways, my brain and my throat need a break, so I'm gonna call it a wrap for now. Hope you enjoy that. There's more visual novels to come in the future and stuff and things and stuff. Bye bye.